Hello humans and welcome to Atlus Megaten Mondays, a space where we will talk not only about the universe of Shin Megami Tensei, but also about other Atlus RPGs we love. This is my own little velvet room, if you will, where I will discuss current events, popular themes, retro games, and my own personal experiences, along with wishes and theories about the games themselves. So sit back, relax, get your cup of coffee or whatever you drink. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel so you can join me every Monday for some interesting conversation. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello humans, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Atlus Megaten Mondays. Today's subject matter: Nocturne. The remaster that needs to happen. Oh, it needs to happen. Well guys, what can we say about Nocturne that hasn't been said? Let me start off by saying this. Nocturne is not my favorite Shin Megami Tensei game. However, it is the most legendary Shin Megami Tensei game in general. What I mean by that is that the game became more popular than when it came out. You have to remember, in case you don't, when the game came out, it wasn't considered necessarily a commercial success. The game became legendary and even more popular 5 and 10 years after, because whatever it lacked as far as gameplay, because people called it a little rough around the edges back in the day, it still ranks up as one of the best RPGs of all time. And what it may lack in graphics, it overcomes by having a tremendous style. It embraces all the core tenets of Shin Megami Tensei to a T. You have the grindingness, yes, and I love grinding, guys, but it became famous for that. And to tell you the truth, if you don't like grinding in Shin Megami Tensei games, you may not be a real fan, let me break it to you. Because that sweet torture, that sweet pain is part of the process. It's part of being a fan of Shin Megami Tensei. Like I've said before, to be a true Shin Megami Tensei fan is to know suffering. Not only suffering within the game sometimes, but what we have to wait. One of the reasons this game became legendary is because it took 10 years for a sequel between this release, which was 3, and 4. That gave it more time to be in the collective consciousness, if you will, of all the gamers for a very long time. From what I can tell over the years, and I've been gaming for a long time, there's very few games that reach this level, guys. This game transcended its core fan base to where it became famous with people that wouldn't necessarily play RPGs or JRPGs for that matter. The inclusion of Dante, for example, made it stand out, made people know about it. People would buy this game even afterwards. It became even a bigger boom in the collector's market, not only by Shin Megami Tensei fans, but people that just wanted to see Dante in every single form, because there's a lot of Dante fans out there, right? So that exposed them Shin Megami Tensei, and that brought a little bit, I'm not going to say a lot, but it brought some fans over. But what it did is it made the game popular throughout the gaming community. It wasn't only core Shin Megami Tensei fans. This game was talked about in different forums. Whenever you referred to a grindy game, they would compare it to this, right? They would compare it to this game. But the visuals of this game were so unique, were so outstanding, that in every essence of the word, when I say that, video games are art, the Shin Megami Tensei franchise embodies this many times over. And this is one of the times it did. Because even if you weren't a fan of the genre, you can look at this art and you can look at the work that was put into these games, and to this game in particular, and just be amazed. The demon selection that they had, which is the core demons, but the designs that they came up with, the world that they came up with, the inspirations, they took from the Chili Peppers and some others. But yeah, I mean, it was unique in every way. And even when you played this game after, you still knew it was something different and something special. And that kept it in the minds of people and gamers in general for all this time. If this game were to come out today with the graphics we have now, what do you think they would do? This game would look amazing, and just amazing. Even on a PS4 Pro, it doesn't have, I mean, and we're now into the PS5 generation, they could do wonders. If they were to remaster this game, they would be printing money. That's exactly what they'd be doing. Because let me tell you something, guys, and you'll know this is true. Look at how much money we spent on collector's editions for things that are not as well developed as this game was. Just think about it. Back in the time when this game came out, game prices basically are the same as they are today. Now you have DLC and what have you, but the game prices are the same. For all practical purposes, games, with inflation and everything, should be about $84, $100 right now. And this is a game that they could charge $100 for the base game with DLC, and $200 to $250 for a collector's edition packed with, everything with a kitchen sink, and people will not blink at it. And I know this for a fact, guys. Go look at Revelations Persona. Go see what that is going for right now. Core collectors would eat this up. And forget about the scalpers. I mean, just the community itself would make this game a hit as soon as it hit the market. But I think what it would do if they remastered it, it would expose it to a larger audience, because the gaming scene now, let's face it, was a lot bigger than it was back then. I mean, this game sold 250,000 copies. It would dwarf that, within the first month. I guarantee you that, because there's so much here, there's so much history, because this game is legendary, because this game transcended. It's part of pop culture now in many ways. When we do memes, when we do reference other games as far as their how tough they are. I mean, shoot, this, you talk about an older tough game, people talk about Dark Souls. Nocturne can say, hey, hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, this was your reference. Until very recently, it still was. So if you're going to do a remaster by Atlus, right? And now that they have, Sega behind them, this is one they could do. Because Shin Megami Tensei is, in the end, Tensei games, we all want them to succeed. Now, would I wish they would make Raidu my favorite game? Of course. But I think the biggest priority here is for SMT mainline to not only survive, but succeed in the long run. And something like this would do it. A remaster like this would do it. It would show the interest that we still have in these games. We would show the interest that we still have in mainline. Now, SMT 5 is coming out. And I'm sure that's going to be a great success too, because, in the same way, they could charge whatever they want. I'm going to buy that game. I'm not even front. And so will a lot of other people. A lot of other people that don't even have Switches will buy the Switch just to play that game. And I think there's a lot of opportunities here that Atlus, Sega, for whatever reason, are not taking. But if they had to make one remake to guarantee them a financial success in many, many ways, it should be this one. You can make it platform. Shoot, you could even put it just straight to the Xbox, make it an Xbox exclusive, and it still would do great numbers, even though it'd be in not the most popular of consoles. The devotion that us Megaten fans for these games transcends all that. I myself own games that I don't have the consoles for because I'm a nut, and I'm sure there's other people like that. But just in general, guys, if one had to be remastered, I think this would be the logical choice. But what do you guys think? What would you have remade if you could? I know I would have Rito remastered because that's another work of art. But as far as logically, as far as sales, as far as, making the franchise successful long term, this is the game they should make and remaster as soon as possible. Alright guys, those are my thoughts. I hope everybody out there is doing well. And remember, never be afraid to be happy. Thank you for joining me on another Megaten Monday. Remember, like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for another great topic in the SMT Atlus universe. Alright humans, take care.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember, never be afraid to be happy. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.